What if Blaziken was in Gen 1 OU? Now, I only picked this Pokemon because I thought it would be like fun, but holy crap, I did not realize just how broken this guy's move pool would actually be. He would be, by far, the best starter to ever exist in Gen 1, and I cannot think of any Pokemon that would come even close to just how great his move pool is. And, you know how I just did Memos 1 yesterday? You know how, like, he has Blizzard, Amnesia, and Earthquake? And I was like, yeah, he's probably the best, like, mixed attacker of all time. Forget that! Blaziken easily knocks him out of the park. It is just crazy, just what he has. Starting off with that typing, he's a fighting type, sure, but he actually has the stats to really, like, make use of it. Unfortunately, in Gen 1, he doesn't have high jump kick, but he does have double kick at the very least, which already is the 2-hit KO on Chansey and almost Tauros. With a crit, it just guarantees a kill on Chansey and can do a lot of damage to Tauros. Tauros might even be a 2-hit KO with the right crit rate. Well, not crit rate, damage rate. But you'll see. And the fire typing is also just really good offensively. Firefighting is always super good offensively. But let's just look at some of this. Starting with the signature move, Blaze Kick. Like, we gave Sceptile his signature move, Leaf Blade, but Blaze Kick's just even better. It also has a high critical hit ratio, but not only is it a little bit stronger at base 85, so if I did my math right, that would mean that Blaze Kick is essentially a 170 base power move. But along with just being more powerful than Leaf Blade, it also has a 10% chance to burn as well, which is just insane. Not as good as Fire Blast's 30% chance, but it didn't need that in the first place. But now it can just hit super hard and maybe even get a burn, which is just great. You have Body Slam and Earthquake, those are nice. Fire Blast, even though Blaze Kick is generally superior because it's always going to be a crit, because Fire Blast does have a higher chance of getting a burn, it could be worth using just for, like, let's say, like, the Tauros match specifically, or the Snorlax match depending on what you have, but probably not worth it. It also helps that Blaze Kick has more power points, so you should probably just go for that. Quick Attack won't be used, Seismic Toss, you have better things to do. Rock Slide is interesting, however, Blaze Kick already does, like, I think half health to, like, Zapdos, so it's probably just better going for that. Same thing for going with that against Cloyster. And Sword Stance is amazing, but considering you have so many moves that have a guaranteed crit, that's right, Blaziken does have more than one. I'm not even sure if it's worth considering using it, because you have a lot of other moves. You don't really need to boost Blaziken's attack. With guaranteed crits, trapping, or just super effective coverage, Sword Stance might not be used a lot, but you definitely can use it. And when you use it, it's just broken, and it can just basically 2-hit KO every single one of the normal types with double kick. Bonus points, since with how double kick works, counter isn't a really good move against it, because for Gen 1, counter only applies the last double kick use, so it doesn't apply both attacks, just the last one, and that's hilarious. Thunder Punch, surprisingly, isn't also a guaranteed move, but that's just because of just how, like, competitive and tight your move spot is. But it's still pretty good against the water types. It's like your only reason for having a chance against Slowbro, which, that's nice. Dig is banned, and Double Kick, even though it's relatively low base power, it's still pretty good, since it can actually damage the normal types or super effective damage. And with with Blaziken's base 80 speed, it has a pretty decent crit rate, which means that it just makes it even more dangerous. But even, like, against Snorlax and Tauros, Blaze Kick already does a lot of damage. It's a good chance that you're mainly just using Double Kick for Chansey exactly. But, it's up to you guys. Fire Spin, as usual, is very good, and a trapping move. It does mean that, technically, Blaziken doesn't really have a truly unwinnable matchup. It can theoretically trap anything for days, and even worst case scenario, it can always just trap something and then safely switch out. And this is also where just having guaranteed crits with Blaze Kick become even better. Because now, like, when you try to go for damage calculations, you know exactly how much you need in order for, you know, the chip. And since you know the moves you'll be using will always be a guaranteed crit, it just makes it a lot easier, instead of having to worry about, like, a damage range. You have Hyper Beam, which probably isn't worth it, just because you have a lot of moves that have less of a drawback. And then, last but not least, you have Slash, another guaranteed crit. And it basically means that, unlike with Sceptile, who couldn't earn Slash for some reason, BLAZIKEN can just go back and forth between using both of these moves. Between Blaze Kick and Slash, Fire Spin, and then, the last move is up to you. Like, I personally like Double Kick still, but Thunder Punch is good, replacing Blaze Kick with Fire Blast, Substitute, Sword Stance. He has a lot of options, and all of them are great. By far, the most dangerous mix attacker I've gone over, and considering that he can hit anything on the physical and special side with a crit, there's literally nothing that can really safely switch in. And since you don't know if it has Sword Stance, or Hyper Beam, or Thunder Punch, and nothing's really safe. Everything can, like, hurt you, or it can hurt everything, except for, like, Gengar exactly. And technically Rhydon too, but technically Double Kick is, technically it's super effective, not to mention it has, you know, Fire Spin, or it can just get burns. Okay, so, Rhydon and Gengar exactly, and Alakazam's faster, but that's basically the only things you have to worry about, because it just has coverage for everything. Sorry if I went through that pretty quickly. I think I'd take more time, for these, pre-analysis, but I'm just excited, because BLAZIKEN actually does seem pretty cool, and, like, I wish I did this earlier, because this would have been a great Pokemon to put in the Generation Jumble. Would have been a lot of fun, but, there's nothing we can do about it now. We'll just get on to the replay, shall we? Starting off with the boy himself, Tauros. Tauros is faster, and 2-hit KOs with Earthquake, which is really sad. But also, as you see there, Double Kick, almost a 2-hit KO. It might be with the right damage range. And there's a good chance that Blaze Kick might do more there. I would have to do the calc. But even if it doesn't, having a small chance to burn probably, like, helps you be in a more favorable position. Or at the very least makes Tauros fear you even more. And then Double Kick doesn't do as much as Snorlax. But luckily it doesn't matter what set you're using. Because, as you see there, like, crits, those are just insane. And that was just with Blaze Kick. And even Blaze Kick did like 53%, which is just amazing. But also with Fire Spin, you might not even need to worry about what set it's using in the first place. Even if that Snorlax was like Reflect, Amnesia, like Earthquake, Surf, you just trap it, and then you can just crit it, and there's just nothing it can do. So, it can still be dangerous, because it's still a Snorlax, but you can do a good job against it. And then with Double Kick, I did these first 3 replays before remembering that it actually has Fire Spin. So decent chance that Chansey doesn't even go for a Thunder Wave at all, because you can just like trap it, and then once you get enough chip damage in, either they'll switch out, or you'll just be able to finish it off with Double Kick. Either way, Chansey just doesn't risk it, because you can just way too quickly just, you know, trap it, damage it. Double Kick hurts, even Slash hurts. So, just a great matchup all around. And this one's just truly unwinnable. Even though, like, Blaze Kick and Slash do a lot of damage, Alakazam will always just outspeed, and it'll probably just have a damage range where you just get killed, or you get crit. So, just don't bother with it. If you see Alakazam, just run into your special wall. And then with Cloyster, Fire Spin's really useful. Clamp might be an OHKO though, because, like, I don't know why, whenever I do these videos, it always feels like my trapping moves always hit like twice, and then Cloyster's always hit like 5 times. And since you guys are probably going to be playing, it means it'll be the exact same thing for you. So whenever you get hit with Clamp, it'll just always hit, and like hit 5 times. Unless you're lucky here, where BLAZIKEN managed to, you know, survive. So it could go either way. I would probably say more so in BLAZIKEN's favor, but it's very, very dangerous either way. So I'm not even sure if either one of them risk it. It's kind of hard to tell. And then Eggy. Fire Spin can put Executor into damage range, and then you just murder with a Blaze Kick. And good chance even a critical Blaze Kick might just OHKO on its own, but I'm not sure. And next off, we have... Oh, we're waiting for it to load, obviously. Oh, my throat. Whatever. And next up, we have Gengar, who is another Pokemon that is a pretty good counter to Blaziken. It has high special, and Blaziken doesn't have any moves that immediately threaten Gengar, other than like Blaze Kick. But even then, I still think it's worth Gengar going for Hypnosis. Not to mention the Explosion and Psychic do a lot of damage to Blaziken, and Thunderbolt and Nightshade can also just like do decent damage. And next off, we have... I forget the order I did this. Oh yeah, Jolteon. But there was Earthquake, but didn't bother giving it. In this here, you can just see why. Slash already does enough damage. And yes, Blaziken does legitimately fear paralysis. It doesn't like becoming super slow and just not getting any free turns in. But even with Paralyzed, it can still do a lot of damage to pretty much everything. An Earthquake probably wasn't worth it with Gengar either, in just my opinion. And Jinx, it has Lovely Kiss, but it honestly might be better off going for Psychic. Because I feel like you're just in big trouble if you miss that Lovely Kiss. Meanwhile, you have a decent chance of critting with a Psychic. It's incredibly dangerous either way. I'm not sure either one of them really risk it. Jinx, theoretically, has a higher chance of, winning. But I wouldn't be comfortable. Same way how I wouldn't be comfortable if it was Rhydon versus Blaziken. Because, like, Blaziken can't really hurt Rhydon too much. It just needs to, like, trap a lot with Fire Spin and get lucky. Which probably won't work out. Which means that even, like, your Double Kick just won't do enough damage. So, a reason here for why maybe going for Fire Blast isn't as bad. Because if you go for Fire Blast, Rhydon gets burned. And then you, like, don't get OHKO by Earthquake. Then you can try trapping it more with Fire Spin, and maybe then put it in a damage range for Double Kick. But it most likely just won't work out for you. But that's why you have Fire Spin to just leave in the first place. And then Slowbro. You have Fire Spin, that helps you a lot. It really does. But you can't just Fire Spin forever. And there's a good chance that it would have just been better for Slowbro to go for, Amnesia or Thunder Wave instead of just trying to kill with Surf. I already did like another replay beforehand. Thunder Punch does like, it puts like Slowbro into like a 60s range, so a 3k KO. So probably going for Amnesia, it probably is the most optimal thing to do. So even if Blaziken won this replay, it's a good go either way, but it's one in Slowbro's favor. But at the very least, Slowbro doesn't like dominate. Like Blaziken can still win it, although it's very dangerous. Same can't be said for Starmie, who Blaziken is just outsped by and gets murdered by either Psychic or Surf. There's nothing you can really do. So just give up the matchup now. It's sad. And last but not least, we got Zapdos. And Drill Peck does a lot of damage. It outspeeds you. But Blaze Kick also does a lot. But Zapdos definitely probably has the better matchup here. There's nothing you can really do. Other than just try to go up against like a chipped or paralyzed Zapdos. So here is the tier list. And I think this is pretty alright. Like the unwinnable matchups are unfortunate. But again, with Fire Spin, nothing's ever truly unwinnable. Other than maybe Alakazam. So, and even like Snorlax actually might just need to be put in great now that I think about it. Fire Spin really does like help it just win everything. Do you disagree with this? And do you think a Blaziken would be the strongest starter in Gen 1? Not counting Megas like Mega Charizard Y or X or whatever. Do you think of any starter that has a better chance of being good? Because there were Skeletors that I did, and if it works, but even if it works properly, and like its special does actually build its bulk with Torch Song, I feel like Alakazam just being a strong mix attacker that can crit everything but still be better. And the very least, you can still spam it on more teams. And like there's like Masquerada, but like that would just be a worse like Sceptile for the most part. So what do you really have that stands a chance? And I checked, Swampert doesn't wear an amnesia. So I really don't know. But I would like to hear what you guys think. And by the way, starting today, the Generation Jumble has officially begun. I will make a video later today going over it. So be sure to be on the lookout. And join the Discord server. Because even though it started today, the tournament hasn't actually started yet. I want to get people some time to actually get to know the meta first. Thank you all for watching. And until next time, this is Groundback. And I look forward to hearing from you.